and we're off and running. Alex Ansary here. It is March 3rd in the year 2018. Hope you're all doing well. Been getting some extra sunshine the last few days that I've been relaxing. So we're here today to talk business. We're going to be talking about the YouTube purge. But most of all, we're going to be talking about what the alternative media is not telling you about the YouTube purge. I'm going to drop some names. We're going to talk about some of the people that have been affected. We're going to use code language and talk about those buzzwords. I'm also going to be creating a playlist. So as you watch this, if you're new to my work, I want you to know how long I've been warning about the COINTELPRO fake news. Used to demonize the alternative media with Alex Jones and key websites leading the charge in reality to shut down free speech on the web. What are some of the solutions that I've talked about over the last few years? You can find out in those videos. So I'll echo just some basic points, but no one of wealth in the alternative media has done a damn thing to help the alternative media as a whole. This is something that you see from quote unquote normal people. But you see, so many people are self-centered within the so-called movement. They are interested in numero uno. And that's fine to be selfish to a certain degree. We all got to pay our own bills. No one's going to pay our own bills for us. But when we get tunnel vision, and that's all that matters, is our own platform and our own opinions and ideas, even understandings as to why channels are going down. As long as that continues, we continue to collapse as a movement. It doesn't mean that good things can't be done on the individual level. So here's what's happening. YouTubers that have an interest in covering some of the same popular viral topics, and some because it's a business. YouTube is a business, and people are making an income. And the more views, obviously, per topic, the more take home. Although most of you know they keep 60%, we take 40%. We've seen the rise in extremist content, and I've been one of the few to say that these social media tech giants are not innocent angels. They promoted key individuals to where when you got on YouTube, certain extremist content and political content, they say that they are not in favor of now, but there was a time where they made sure that I saw their bullshit. Over and over and over again, I've since come to learn that Virginia, Florida, and Colorado were the states that were hit with the fake Sharia law invasion meme more than the other states to target the patriots and to take their focus away from Russia and China and the coming conflict and put it internally and to entrap them on a spiritual level. Whether you're spiritual or not, it's not going to censor my commentary. When you begin to speak ill of innocent people and call for innocent people to be harmed, harm will find you at your doorstep. It will even affect your family. It's an energy. What we put out comes back to us. So there's a reason why they've been radicalizing elements of our country. It's in preparation for the demonization of the white American tomorrow. Go ahead and play Far Cry 5 coming out in March for more information. For those of you gamers. Problem, reaction, solution. Where did we come from? It was 10 months ago that the apocalypse began. Now it's March, 11 months ago, about a year. And we're seeing channels deleted with multiple strikes because they chose to get on board the controlled opposition narrative, and they were led into a trap. I use the phrase hamburger gate instead of the phrase that's normally used to avoid flagging. Even those that want to talk about those issues could speak in code if they were to apply their intelligence. Instead, we're seeing a widespread assumption and claim that it's only conservatives that are being hit. First of all, I don't know why people are confusing conservatism with some of the extremism. They're doing regular conservatives a disservice. For example, if there's a neo-Nazi channel and they're screaming particular slurs, is it wise to call that conservative? Or should we leave that in the extremist category that it should remain in? No, this isn't about your opinion about conservatives or my opinion about conservatives trying to make liberals sexy. It would work if I didn't care about 9/11 truth in the future of that region overseas. Liberals don't care. Democrats don't care. Conservatives don't care. Republicans don't care. Neither conservatives nor liberals want to be reminded about the death toll. They want to keep it on the fight, internal chaos. So we aren't dealing with intelligent YouTubers, no matter how many hundreds of thousands of subscribers that they have. They think they can get away with anything. So they fall for the bait that Alex Jones left out with Hamburger Gate. Q, for those that know the rest of that, I'm not going to say the full word, and what I will call performance artists. There's also a lot of people out there that have violated other people in a sexual sense. I'm pretty sure Bill Clinton isn't the only one. But there are particular talking points that if you mix those talking points together, you will go viral for a few years. Then all of a sudden that honey starts tasting like motor oil, if not apple cider vinegar. Good for tooth infections, by the way. That would be the apple cider vinegar, not the motor oil. Just got to make sure that I'm clear on that. All different types of people are watching this channel. So the point is that they use the honey to trap the bee. So you have this big beehive, bzz, bzz, and it's going good for a while. Pretty healthy. People are buying cars, buying homes. Anything goes. Screaming, bang her in the prison. Bang her in the prison. Anybody doesn't like our rhetoric is with the woman. You're with the woman. You're with Clinton. You're with the woman. And see, people don't even realize a woman doesn't run the New World Order. Okay, I don't care how much Alex Jones you listen to. Hillary Clinton is another pawn. Donald Trump is another pawn. There's a hand above Hillary, and there's a hand above the Donald. Try telling that to today's human, to today's Democrat, to today's Republican. So we're not dealing with intelligent folks that are able to see the patterns with regards to all this, and we're not seeing people showing honesty on their channels. Instead, we're hearing people like Mike Adams saying that this is going to lead to bloodshed. He was taken down as well. But see, what people don't know when they're ranting that they're going after the truth, as Richie Boston said to me on Twitter in a response to Freeman, because I asked Freeman to tell me, what were the topics that you covered that resulted in a strike? And he answered. And I just told you, those topics. Hamburger Gate, I'm renaming it Q for short. Performance artists. And things revolving Hillary's husband. Now, if you know that they're trapping people into a box in this left-right paradigm, while the hidden hand controls both candidates, what they're doing is they're putting out the bait and then boxing the people that take the bait. And instead of having the humility to say, we were thrown under the bus, we've been set up by Alex Jones. Is Alex Jones actually going to go down? And if he does go down, I would argue that this is staged from the inside to make him even bigger than he is right now. We don't have time to get into Rob Jacobson and the recent allegations about gay grooming at InfoWars. Rob Jacobson isn't going to be speaking to me, however. Obviously, there's a reason for that. I've reached out to him, but he's not biting. He's not talking to this Alex. And that is a tragedy that they will go from serving him to speaking to the mainstream media, which we already are distrustful of. This just highlights how much distrust is going on within the alternative media. But Rob Jacobson has been with Alex Jones for over 14 years. Rob Jacobson is anything but innocent. He is a collaborator to the stunts that Alex Jones has pulled specifically including the JFK incident in 2013, where he claimed that the Dallas County Sheriff's Department came up and punched him in the stomach, which there is no evidence of. Only evidence of Alex Jones attempting to start a riot between his followers and the Dallas County Sheriff's Department. So, because of the confidentiality agreement, we'll come back and talk about this in our video, you're still not being shown the strings that pull InfoWars and how they bring out InfoWars to demonize us and truth about that day that got us in these wars. Well, the man, Adam's not versus this man. Adam Kokesh, for the record, does not believe that Alex Jones is controlled opposition. Let that be noted for the history books. More on Kokesh later. But you see, these men that have been held up by so many have failed you. No different than the way the politicians have failed you. Mark Dice has failed you. Christopher Green has failed you. Alex Jones has failed you. Stefan Molyneux has worked to increase racism towards white people that is not justified. See, it's okay for people to have their grievances. It's okay for people to say, don't you bring those people into my field to take from me. It's also your responsibility to realize who is really taking from you. In the end, now that the smoke is cleared, are Syrians parasiting on you in your community? Yes or no? The answer is no. The smoke has cleared. The facts are in. Colorado, Virginia, and Florida are the three states that I would say the CIA and Russia targeted. Now, there are white nationalist rallies increasing in the state of Virginia with a major rally set in just a few days. They're converging. Going back to Mike Adams, as he calls or predicts bloodshed, he himself made a veiled threat to Google, saying that unless this is fixed, there's going to be a storming of Silicon Valley. I would go further. Now that it's becoming more obvious that Donald Trump is not the same Donald Trump, that he has broken his campaign promises, do you think that a light bulb is going to go off in the minds of the Trump supporters? Or do you think that in time, they're going to take action into their own hands with regard to DACA, with regard to Muslim communities, and other immigrants? I didn't say all. And we don't even necessarily have to call them Trump supporters, but an obvious base of this country that has been radicalized up until a point. And I've said in other podcasts that have been since demonetized that I view a dystopian reality in the 2020s before the breaches of the nation's defenses on the part of two major superpower nations that run the SCO. But one of the excuses that I think they're going to use is the radicalization and the domestic extremism and the people that are being hunted down, shot, and nearly skinned alive. I don't think that the internet disinformation, the call to arms to target particular communities, is going away. I think it's going to go to the next level. One of the things about censorship, when you censor extremists, or when you censor particular individuals that want to play a victim, then they can play the victim, and then people can look, oh, look what they did to the Daily Stormer. Oh, look what they did to this group. Oh, look what they did to Alex Jones. It's time to fight back. And there's a narrative. And what's even scarier, not only do I not see that people on the left are being affected, that videos are being demonetized that criticize white supremacy, that channels are receiving strikes that have actually worked to debunk the theories about what happened in the Sunshine State to the southeast. Richie Allen's channel is down. Richie Allen had a debate with someone who had theories about that day. Richie Allen played the other side. Richie Allen's channel has been terminated. And so Today, as it stands at the moment that I'm recording this, there are no conventions, there are no conference calls. People are still sticking with what they think is their group, their tribe. They maintain their loyalty to these deceivers in the alternative media without realizing that they're being deceived. And some of the people that are claiming that they're being censored are bigger than ever. And so again, monkey see, monkey do. People want to be a part of a revolution. People see people being victimized. People see people being censored. They want to join that group. Oh, look at those people. They're being censored. The leftists are coming after them. We've got to group up and fight back or it's the end of civilization. Problem, reaction, solution. Think about Mike Adams is. Mike Adams of Natural News called for the indefinite detention of Trump protesters. Now, the thing is, with Antifa being labeled what it is, what if anyone is just labeled Antifa just for having an opinion? Where do we go when we end up against that wall? Kyle of Secular Talk made the following point. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos from a lot of different perspectives on what is taking place right now. And Kyle said, then where does this end? So you ban one thing because it's labeled a conspiracy theory, and you ban another because it's labeled a conspiracy theory. And then you find your way to September 11th, and then you find your way to JFK. And even Schenck made this point with the Young Turks. They don't want to be censored, so they're not calling for all-out censorship. But when you listen to Adams, Jones, or Chris Green, or others like them, Lisa Havens, those that are in the club, the Players Ball, the Insider Club, the ones that have their niche where there's very little penetration from the outside of their bubble. And then every now and then you'll see Jordan from, Destroy the Illusion, or another site that was shut down. Young, looks like he's barely out of high school. Copies Alex Jones, copies the AMTV talking points, and then they think they're being censored because it's the truth. They think Alex Jones is leading them to the truth. Did Alex Jones really lead them to the truth with Hamburger Gate? Did Alex Jones really lead them to the truth with Q? Did Alex really lead them to the truth with Donald Trump? What is Donald Trump going to do about this? He's going to do absolutely nothing. He said he was going to come after the media. They were thinking it was just about the left media. This is one of the most obvious sleight of hand bait and switches that we've ever seen. Why aren't we having a conversation about it like adult men and women on YouTube? Instead, you have people freaking out. Oh, God, come. Oh, folks, we need your help. Oh, they're trying to bury the truth. Oh. Can't you find a way of speaking the truth without flagging yourself? Even if you say untrue flag, again, I'm using code now, all videos go into this flagged category. And so here's the dangerous, violent rhetoric that concerns me. Alex Jones, CG, Mike Adams, those with larger voices, are saying the left is doing this wholesale. So that means anybody walking down the street that, is in tears because they just lost their income, because they supported Donald Trump and they're a white conservative, and they're being told that leftists did this to them. Leftists did this to you. The Democrats did this to you. White liberal women at Google, which is what a lot of people are doing right now, showing these are the people that did this to you, and it's like a whole room of white women smiling. With like two heavy-set guys in the back, being hidden by the women. That is dangerous. That is dangerous for that meme to even be out there. That's just a conspiracy of white women that are conspiring against the white men. See, this is the type of stuff that leads to people getting killed, let alone raped or hurt. And so, as they continue to blame what's going on at anyone that opposes Trump in the streets, you're going to see more violent retaliation. And that violent retaliation will be used to send in the outsiders to restore order, as they've been preparing for multiple decades. You can look at the early Alex Jones documentaries, the Police State series, for more information. That was the old Alex Jones. But remember how Alex Jones made it all about our own troops in NATO. He steered away from China and Russia every step of the way. This is dangerous. So we should not allow ourselves to be victimized, even in our own consciousness. I will not allow myself to be victimized. The truth isn't going away. The truth isn't limited to following Alex Jones's top 3 stories. Those people that think that's the truth don't know what truth is. You can talk about certain things. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get flagged. Now I'm supposed to, be angry at women now because all those videos that I did about men not being slaves to their own lust and thinking with their higher consciousness, every one of those videos is demonetized. Who did I bully? I bullied no one. I tried to help the men wake up from their lower senses and being a slave to some of the bad ones that are out there. I've also talked to the women about raising their standards above the abusive male, because some haven't learned to do that yet. That's why Alex Jones and people like him are so popular to women, because they're being shouted at. They're being told to obey. Obey Alex Jones. Alex Jones will tell you who is okay to date. Alex Jones will tell you what's okay to eat. Alex Jones will tell you what's okay to do in your own life or where to live. But on the most primal levels, you decide who's your significant other. You decide what you eat. You decide where you live. You decide what you believe. And you got to have the discernment to shut out those voices that want to make your life decisions for you. Alex Jones is leading the so-called self-described patriots no more. They're not patriots. If they're not drilling and having conversations about the upcoming geopolitical situation that I've warned you about, they're not patriots. They're part of the controlled chaos to make future patriots a friggin' drone target. I'm very upset by the co-opting of the alternative media and those that are doing volunteer hours as intern-controlled opposition, because they like the sound from the radio. They like the sound of the voice from the president. They like the sensation of the music combined with the Alex Jones rant. It's almost as if we're winning, but we're drowning in debt. And that's why China and Russia are waiting on the sidelines after certain things, after certain measures. Maybe a little control over particular self-defense items, self-censoring myself to not even use the G word. The very fact that we're here now in this reality under Trump should be enough to wake them up. But if they're not going to wake up now, you need to understand as well as I do, they are never going to wake up. Instead of them looking at the systems of control, those that are being demonetized, those that are receiving the strikes, they're being socially engineered to take this out on their political enemy. But here's the kicker. Their political enemy is not manually reviewing the videos at YouTube that are being flagged. People are being flagged on the left and the right, and you're not seeing honesty from the people on YouTube discussing this. It is true at the moment that they're mostly going after conservatives that have engaged in particular extremist content, in some cases, not all. But there are some channels that they took down that they're publicizing, including a neo-Nazi channel linked to a group that was linked to a murder in the last year. Okay. So support is going to build up from the left for censorship. In the end, that same censorship program is going to be used on them as well in the end. So YouTube is the biggest platform for getting our word out. Someone can look up something on Google on their phone and all these YouTube videos are going to pop up. It's not exactly a situation where we have alternatives. Okay, you have these undereducated and underexperienced adolescent men in adult bodies that think like things that DTube and Steemit and BitChute are alternatives to the largest nightclub in town. They're holes in the wall. BitChute is censoring as well. Some people just never learn. We need to understand that truthing or speaking the truth isn't about taking the top 3 headlines from the top alternative media websites and then making that story yours. It's speaking your truth. It's expressing your ideas. It's thinking outside the box of the buzzwords. And if a man or a woman is not intelligent enough to learn how to do that, sink or swim, baby. And even if this YouTube channel goes down, I will not quit. But I'm not going to put myself in dangerous situations where I cover fake news. Shout out to Aaron. You left the link at alexansary.tv, the Facebook page, and you're telling, man, this Q thing sounds real. No offense, dude. You said the same thing about Assange. At some point, Aaron, love you, bro, met you once in Portland, you need to wake up to PSYOPs, because I'm not sure you're in chapter 1. Because if I were to have taken your advice, Aaron, and if I was to run that story on Q, I would be in the same boat as all those other guys that took that rip and read from Infowars.com. You need to know your sources, sir, if you want to survive the culling. Last point. Sex sells. Just like violence, just like fear. Big old titties. So they will pass up the man for the woman that will show up her cleavage. They will pass up the good woman if she's a little overweight, or if she's an honest journalist, or if she has a natural beauty. They'll pass up that woman if she doesn't give it up. So you have Ashton, who was previously with Christopher Green's AMTV. Now she's with Infowars. Now she's being promoted by Breitbart. Is there a Breitbart AMTV Infowars link and others, Peter Thiel, others around Trump, not just Roger Stone? And so when these people brag about being friends with billionaires, and they brag about getting tips from the intelligence committee or community, we need to look a little more carefully at why some of these people have developed such a very large reach. In the last 2 or 3 years, we could see the parroting of talking points that takes us away from truly being against globalism and into this fake left-right paradigm on steroids. So in the case of Ashley, I'm just waiting to see more women respected by other men and women. Truther is a limited word, but that's the word that we use. More than them being used to sell their body to sell an idea. I'd like to see more women involved. And I'd like to see more men and women treat them right and give them the respect that they deserve. And not just put them up on a pedestal if they're going to let their titties all hang out. I think that's showing how backwards we're sliding as a society. So those are the things that I want you to keep in your mind. The sky is not falling. And particular individuals that seem to have little to no discernment and don't want to have a conversation about the key words that get them flagged, they're going to sit there and they're going to continue to hang themselves and put out propaganda that everyone on the left that doesn't like Donald Trump is to blame for their downfall. And what will follow that is violence. That is the next step. People like Mike Adams and Alex Jones will lead the charge. Until next time, I'm Alex Ansary, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of power still lies within.